hang around. And so these days it's really, really simple. Now this is I think it was $70 or $80 microphone, and it just plugs into your smartphone, and your smartphone's a very, very powerful HD camera. And here's one of the things about Facebook as well. Right now, if you put a video on Facebook, it will get about 10 times the exposure as an organic or general post. And so this just plugs into here, like so. How cool is this, eh? And now I have, this is a Rode microphone, by the way. Now my AV guy down in the back, RODE, are they good microphones, yes or no? Yeah, one of the industry's best. Rode microphone. This thing here is not a fluffy little cat, it's actually a windsock. I can go out in the weather, and that's the most frustrating thing with recording on an iPhone is that wind noise. Well, it goes completely with this. I've been out in really windy conditions. It goes completely. You just hold it up like that and you do a video. I've got a little tripod. This is how simple this stuff is, right? It doesn't have to be complicated. You can do the same for YouTube. I've got a little tripod in here that I carry around. This is called an octopus, or something like that, square jelly or something. Square jellyfish. That's it, just a little tripod. And my phone just sits in there, and I record a video. It doesn't get any simpler, right? People say to me, oh Ben, it's all too hard. And I go, it's not hard at all. eBay. eBay. Yeah, but this is called the Rode Mic Me, I think it is, M-I-C-M-E. About $80. You don't have to do anything but plug it in. Any smartphone, works with any smartphone. And the square jellyfish I think I got on eBay as well. But it just makes it really easy, right? So you can be anywhere, anytime. You've already got your phone. You don't have to go and buy an expensive camera, do you? And you don't even need great lighting. Any lighting will do these days. I do have a little reflector that I sometimes have in these reels. It's only small. It pops out. A little 1 in 3, but that's with photographer coming out of me being a bit of a perfectionist, but you don't need that. You could just use a piece of paper. You just hold a piece of paper underneath your chin. If your lighting's not good and you want to make sure you don't have those dark shadows, ladies, I know. You hold that down to reflect some light up. So it can be very, very simple, yet not many people do it, and it's really powerful. And one of the reasons it's powerful is because not many people are doing it. And because you think it's got to be highly produced, or it's got to, you've got to hire somebody. I don't want to take you out of work. There is a time and a place for really highly polished videos. But in social media, people don't expect it to be a high polished piece of gear. They expect it just to be quick, a bit dirty, and now when I say dirty, I mean rough. Don't you get any ideas? I could see you, bro. So they just want it to be rough, right? They don't want it to be highly polished. So really important. So YouTube's a great platform, very, very simple. If you're looking at this and I saw some eyes glazed over going, but Ben, I can't do this, I'm not a videographer. That's how simple it is. I've got an app on my phone that uploads directly to YouTube. I don't even need to sit at a computer. And I've just started a new channel. I'm just doing iPhone videos with. I've only just started. It's got 2 videos up there last week, but because I want to test it and just prove to the world that you can just run an entire channel with an iPhone and an $80 microphone and get a stack of followers. And I'll show you in a year's time. We'll see that'll have huge numbers. 14 million unique Australian views per month on YouTube. How many of you use YouTube? Yep. Now, how many of you come across YouTube when you're Googling something? Yeah, isn't that cool? So Google owns YouTube, by the way. So if you've got good YouTube interaction, you'll get better Google rankings. If you embed some of your videos from YouTube onto your website, Google will love you. Okay, they'll start to want to make love to you, and they'll put you up in the Google search results. They're really cool. So very, very simple to do. 14 million Australian views per month. People, the most searched terms. There's 2 highly searched terms on YouTube. One is how to, followed by whatever, because people are looking for instructional videos, or product with the word review after it, like business coaching review, or AV audio guy review. Okay, so that's what people will go, or a product name, MacBook review. They're the 2 most highly searched for terms on YouTube. So now what does that tell us? Well, it tells us if we've got some sort of product or service where we can make how-to videos, guess what? We're going to capture a lot of search volume very quickly. So, one of my photography, I've got a photography YouTube channel. I don't know how many views and subscribers. I've got videos that have got hundreds of thousands of views, and I don't know how, because they weren't very well produced. They didn't even have good audio, but they did because they were helpful. All right, so that's the good thing with YouTube. You make a helpful video, people will go and watch it, and they'll stick around. Now here's an example of a business that was an early adopter on YouTube. These guys are called Digital Rev. It's Kai Wong is his name, and Lockie is his assistant on the right there. And these guys are representatives of a company called Digital Rev. Now they're, once again, it's from the photography space, so I know these guys. They started off as an eBay store, then they started this YouTube channel to do reviews and explain a bit about the products, because what they learned was online people can't touch and feel the products, see how it works, so they just started creating these videos that explained how it worked. And then this guy here, Kai, has got a fair bit of a personality, and so he started getting a fair bit of traction on YouTube. Now these guys are huge. Now I did this screen capture, I don't know how long ago. You can see they've got way over 1 million subscribers there. I'm not sure how many it is now, but it's probably 1.5 million, maybe 2 million. Now this is an online camera store, folks. Okay, so just to put it into perspective, this is an online business, and most of their traffic comes from where? The word review, right? So what they do is, if you have a look, you know, Nikon D750 hands-on review. Nikon D750 hands-on review. So they're just capitalising on the fact that they understand what people are looking for. They do the review. He's entertaining as well, so he gets a high engagement on his videos. And YouTube is no different to Google. They want the user to have a good experience. So if you type in Nikon D70 review, they're going to put his at the top. Why? Because he gets the highest percentage of his videos viewed. Now when I say the highest percentage, I mean the duration of them. So if he's got an 8-minute video, you'll stick and watch it for, you know, the average might be 7 minutes. And what that tells YouTube is these videos are good quality, they're informative, they're helpful, and people are sticking around to watch them. If you have a video that's, you know, and a lot of people do this, they try and use headlines in their YouTube so they show up in the search function better. Same on blog posts, by the way, on your website or any of these things. If your headline's not relevant to the article or the problem that the person's trying to solve, it'll actually do you more damage than good, because people won't stay there long. And the jargon word is bounce. Okay, what they do is they measure how many seconds somebody is on the page. Okay, and if it's like with a web page, it's the seconds they're on the page. With a video, it's the percentage of the video that was viewed before they clicked off of it. Okay, and so if it's not relevant, that's how they measure relevance, by the way. Because they say if people are going quickly, it mustn't be relevant to that search term. So it doesn't matter how clever you are with keywords or how clever you are with headings or headlines. If your content's not relevant, you're still not going to win the battle. So you've still got to come up with good content. But really good success story for these guys. They do 2 TV episodes a week, so just 2 videos a week. They're about 10 minutes length. Yes, they're bloody entertaining, there's no doubt about that, really well edited. But you know, here's a business that's got millions and millions of subscribers on a YouTube channel, buying millions and millions of dollars worth of camera gear from them every single year. So it's been a worthwhile investment of their time to make it happen. And this is just one example of digital marketing that is not your traditional go and spend money on stuff. You can start a YouTube channel tomorrow for nothing. Doesn't cost anything to sign up. You can go and get yourself a fluffy little microphone. You don't need to have that, but I recommend, because that gets your audio up there. You've already got your camera. You don't even need a tripod. For $80, you can start your YouTube channel, start being helpful, and get more traffic. Really cool. And here's their website, just so you can see that it's an actual online business. And you can have plenty of, in whatever channel you like, you make your own channels on there. And this is just an example of how many subscribers people can get. I don't know if we can read those there. I'll probably read them better down here. But I think Greg the Gardener's got some thousands of 10,000. That's Greg the Gardener who's got 10,000 subscribers. Greg the Gardener, right? So Shane Conlon 1, he's the DIY for knuckleheads. And he's got, I don't know, 17,000 or something, 27,000 subscribers. The DIY for knuckleheads. Now he could be a handyman in a local area that's getting a lot of business from the fact that he's just a little bit entertaining on YouTube. P-Plate and Mods, these guys actually sell parts to young guys with cars that are modifying them. Okay, and they've got, I don't know, 24,000 or 34,000 there. Subscribers. Pretty amazing, isn't it, when you think about it? So very targeted channels. And this is just to prove that you don't have to be a big company to get all the followers. I think Bunnings have got 1.4, Mitre 10 had 1, and ARB had not very many, under 1,000, I think. So the big companies aren't winning the battle, right? So you don't need to be a big company to win this battle. You don't need to have huge amounts of budget or marketing. You don't even need to have a big brand. You just got to be helpful, right? And that's what I love about YouTube. Now here's an example of a guy called Nash Greer. Has anybody heard of this guy before? Yeah, little young bloke in the States, and he just started by video, what they call vlogging, right? Video blogging, and got a whole bunch of followers now. I don't know. This was done about a year ago. The screen capture, you can see, he had 1.7 followers. Sorry, 3.7 million subscribers. And he didn't start this as a business, but he had so much traffic that companies contacted him, and now he has a full merchandise range with his name on it. And I think he's 17 and he's worth about $40 million US, all because of a YouTube channel. Pretty amazing. This is Gary Vaynerchuk. This is where he started out. Wine Library TV. I can't see how many subscribers there, but very, very popular. That's the guy that wrote that book. And now he's got a company called VaynerMedia with, I don't know how many, hundreds of employees, and turns over millions and millions of dollars, I think $50-something million a year. And he's big on Twitter. Twitter's another one. A lot of people don't really understand how to use it. 2.8 million Australian users, and as you can see, that's up 400,000 from last quarter. So it's really starting to catch on now. People are starting to use Twitter a fair bit. And this is Gary Vaynerchuk. You can see there that he's got 1.1 million followers at the time that I took the screen capture. That was a year ago as well, maybe 6 months ago when I took the screen capture. So, same thing, if you're entertaining and you're on a platform and you build relationships, you have that two-way conversation, people will follow you. Okay, don't expect to get followers just by buying them or by posting crap. You've got to really interact, but it does show that it can work. One of the best things on Twitter is then this advanced search. And you can only do it on a computer. A lot of people don't know that you can do this. And one of the powerful things about this is you don't even have to have a very big Twitter following, but you can use this advanced search to find potential customers. And you can search by keywords, by hashtags, by users, by whatever it is you like. And you can find people that are complaining about a problem, and then you can tweet to them and say, hey, I can solve that for you. In fact, if anybody on Twitter here, just get on there and complain at Telstra. And this is serious, right? Because Optus are very smart, and so are Vodafone. If you complain at Telstra, say, at Telstra, my service is really slow, you suck, because I get that all the time. Oh, that's normal. You'll see what will happen is you'll get a message from Optus or from Virgin Mobile or from Vodafone saying, hey, we noticed you've got a problem with Telstra.
We suck as well.
They don't quite word it that way, but...
Sorry.
But it just shows you how powerful something like this is, because they're finding the people that aren't happy with their competition and targeting them directly. And you can do the same thing. You don't have to be a big player to do this. You just got to know how to use the platform. There's over 2,000 tweets a minute. So Twitter's a very, very fast-moving platform, and you can tweet at least once an hour, and it's not going to hurt you. In fact, you can tweet the same thing every single hour for 2 days, and only no one will see it twice. It's just how it works on Twitter. But I get a lot of traffic from Twitter, a huge amount of traffic from Twitter into my webinars and into my seminars, and downloading free goodies off my website. And that's one of the key ways I use Twitter. I do not pay to advertise on Twitter. YouTube, I do a little bit, what's called remarketing, which I'm not going to talk about tonight, but YouTube. Facebook, I spend a lot of money on, and Google AdWords is the other one. But on Twitter, I get a lot of free business. When I say free, I'm not paying for it. I still had to set the process up. What I do is I give away free stuff. So I'll give away, the guide that can reduce your working hours by 10 to 20 hours per week with 4 simple things. Download the workbook here for free. If you're busy, guess what? You opt in for that. You get my free guide. You're now in my email database, and I'll market to you until you either buy, unsubscribe, or die. That's how it works. All right. LinkedIn. Oh, I didn't tell you about Twitter. Here's a good thing to do on Twitter as well. If you have a competitor that's really popular on Twitter, and some of you will, some of you won't, or if you don't have a competitor, you find an influencer in your industry that's got a lot of followers. So let's say you're a plumber here in Perth. I don't know, have we got any plumbers here? Probably not. What sort of business are we in? Let's give someone be the guinea pig. What sort of business? Travel agent. Travel agent. Okay, you're a travel agent. So you're a travel agent. And one of your competitors in Perth is a huge Twitter user, and they've got 14,000 followers. Now, if that travel agent competitor's got 14,000 followers, who are they likely to be? Yeah, they're likely to be customers, right, or prospects. So what you can do is you can now, it's like an unwritten rule on Twitter. If someone follows you, you follow them back. Now, this happens about 20% of the time. You can go and follow all 14,000 of their followers, and 20% of them will follow you back. Now, you can't do this all in one day because Twitter gets upset with that. They have limits on how many people you can follow and unfollow in a day, but it's a very powerful strategy. Okay, because now you're getting their customers and their fans to follow you. Okay, so now it's very targeted, and people don't know you can do this, but it's the most powerful way to use Twitter.
Does that work on Instagram as well?
It does also work on Instagram, yes. And so what I do is I use a program called Manage Flitter. Manage Flitter. Okay, and Manage Flitter does it for me. So you pay a fee per follow and unfollow. You set up some rules. You put the usernames into the competitors you want to target, and it does it all for you. It's about $50 a month. Once again, I'm lazy. I don't like to do the work. I don't want to sit there and follow. So I get Manage Flitter to do it. Really, really powerful tool, and something every business should be using. Now, just remember, as you build your followers up, though, people can target your followers as well if they know. But not many people know how to do it. So Twitter's really cool for that. LinkedIn. Who's on LinkedIn? Yeah, a lot of people are on LinkedIn, especially in the professional space. 3.7 million users in Australia. Once again, nowhere near the Facebook capacity yet. We know those 3.7 million are professional, people. They're not just people sitting at home liking pictures of muffins. So there's a little bit of a benefit to LinkedIn. Up 500,000 users on last quarter, so it is growing rapidly as well. All these platforms in the last quarter have grown much quicker than in the previous sort of 12 months beside Facebook. Facebook's been on this huge growth path for a while. Same thing as Facebook, you can start a LinkedIn group. Great way for you to become an authority in your space. Start a group, or you can go and join a group. There's heaps of groups on LinkedIn, and you'll find that's a good way to communicate and build trust with your audience. And there's just some more example of groups. Make sure your profile is up to date. Okay, here's what my rule on LinkedIn, and I've got, I don't know how many connections, a couple of thousand. I will not accept your connection if you don't have a photo. If you can't put a photo of yourself up there, you just want to look like a grey head with no hair, then I don't want to be your friend. So you've got to make sure your profile's up to date, and also make sure that your title says who you are. So you can see there, CEO, business advisor, public speaker, and podcast host. So if people search for stuff on LinkedIn, that's the line that LinkedIn looks for keywords in. So mine's actually different now, but you can put stuff in there like helping people travel to their favourite destinations, or Perth's #1 travel agent. So if someone puts in travel agent Perth, you'll come up in the search results, right? So if you just put in there, I've got some fancy word like concierge of other countries, it won't pop up. So you've got to make sure you're really smart with what you put in there, and then make sure your summary is really good. Use the real estate that they give you on the page to put things in there about yourself. I've got a little video, I think, in mine, and then get people to endorse you for stuff. Really important. You can do LinkedIn ads. My advice is don't, unless you like wasting your money, because they just don't work. Pages, same thing. You can have a business page. It's a great way for you to connect your employees to your page. They get followed, but once again, not a very powerful way to market on LinkedIn. The most powerful thing to use LinkedIn for is as a database. Okay, so you search for people. I've got a cold call script that works fantastic on LinkedIn. My team have been using it for years. I've been sharing it with people and showing people how to use it. It's very, very targeted. If you know exactly who you're after, you can find them and you can target them by calling them. Okay, we use the old-fashioned method of the telephone. So hopefully you've all got one of those still. And that's what LinkedIn is, because LinkedIn is the most up-to-date database of professional people on the planet. Okay, why? Because you keep it up to date in most cases. Okay, so if someone's looking for, if you want to connect with people. Now I mentioned before, how do I make all this happen without spending hours and hours and hours and hours and hours and hours on social media and doing nothing else? I use automation tools. I'm just going to show you a few. This one's called Hootsuite. Quite a simple tool, very cheap. I think you can get a free version. It will automatically post stuff for you on social media and give you stats of your social media. I use this one called Meet Edgar. Meet Edgar is a little bit more sophisticated, costs about $50 US a month, but it recycles your content. So you can put what's called evergreen content. So if you've got a fantastic article or something that you can put out there that can keep going out there month after month after month, Edgar will just keep posting it out there for you. You just build a library, it keeps going out there. And then the other thing that you can get out of this is make sure you monitor your stats, see what's working and what's not. Don't just put stuff on there and think it's working. Look at the stats and work out, okay, what are people responding to, what aren't they? And do more of what people are enjoying and engaging with, and less of what they're not. Okay, so just because you think your pretty little quote cards are fantastic, doesn't mean the rest of the universe does. Okay, so you want to make sure you're targeting in the right way. And so that's pretty much it. I do have an opportunity for those. I know I'm just about out of time, aren't I, Fleur? So I just want to quickly tell you about a couple of things. Who's learned a bit tonight, by the way? Yeah, and I know I talk fast. Hopefully you listened fast. It's always good when you don't finish before me, so thank you for that. You'll see there's a couple of opportunities here for you. The first one here is if you want to grab 33 free online marketing templates. You just fill that in. They're valued at $500. In fact, it costs about $3,000 to get those made. Okay, to give you an idea, if you went and got them all made, that's what it would cost you to get them made. If I was going to sell them, it'd be about $500 a pop. 33 online marketing templates that'll help you market on all the different platforms, get your ads right. Just fill that in and hand it in to me. The other opportunity I've got with you is a good friend of mine. Has anybody heard of Adam Franklin or Toby Jenkins? No? Some of you might have. Okay. So they're the author of this book here called Web Marketing That Works. They both live, Adam lives in Sydney, Toby lives on the Gold Coast, and they're two absolutely amazing online marketers. And these are the guys that I work with a fair bit and have learnt a lot from over the last 2 years, 3 years in particular. We've run a few workshops together, and we're running another one. And we just keep improving. One of the challenges with digital marketing is it changes all the time. So we put a brand new course together that goes over 16 weeks. You can see there's 8 different modules there. You can have a read of that. I won't read that out for you. But it basically takes you from being a total newbie with no idea what you're doing to getting sales on the internet. Okay, so getting leads that come in that you can convert into a customer. And that's the one thing that we do. We pride ourselves on our ability to be able to do that. So you've got 3 of the sharpest minds helping you make that happen. Over the 16 weeks, it's a webinar process. So you get on at 8:30 a.m. your time here every second Tuesday for learning. And then you've got 2 weeks to get your homework done. During that 2 weeks, you can jump onto the online private group. You can chat with myself, Toby or Adam, and all the other participants in there. And it's about making sure you get the stuff implemented, because if you don't do it, you won't get the results. Like joining the gym and not turning up, you're not going to get fit. So, you know, we get you onto those sessions. If you can't make one of the sessions because you're on holidays or something, it's okay. It starts on the 10th of May, the Tuesday the 10th of May, and goes every fortnight for 16 weeks. After that, for that 90 minutes. And by the end of that course, you will have a complete digital marketing strategy set up, and you will be making money from online marketing. Okay, and we pretty much guarantee that, or we'll give you money back. Now, you'll see that on this side, it's normally $4,897. Because I've travelled all the way to Perth to come here to see you guys, I'm going to make it an irresistible deal for you. Put a line through that. I'm going to make it $3,300. Okay, and the first 10 people that register will also get an hour of coaching with me on digital marketing and an hour's coaching with Adam, plus an autographed copy of Adam's book as well for the first 10 people that do that. Now, if you can't pay in one lump sum, we do have a payment plan you'll see there as well. It's normally 4 payments of $13.97. For you guys tonight, I'm going to make that $8.47. Okay, so put a line through $13.97, you'll pay 4 payments of $8.47. Okay, and so just any credit card will do. I just don't take small children. I've had enough of them. So if you feel like you're in that space now, no, some of you aren't right now, ready to implement and make it happen. That's okay. If it's not for you, there's no issues there. But if you do feel like you want some help to get your digital marketing up and running, and you want someone to coach you through making that happen, then we'll certainly spend that 16 weeks giving you great value and getting you a result. I've been Ben Fewtrell. You've been bloody fantastic. Thanks for having me. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Ben. So, I think we all learned something, wouldn't you say? Worth coming along this evening? Yes. Ben's going to be with us for the rest of the evening, so please make sure you hit him up for any one-to-one questions, because I know sometimes you can be a bit shy. I know I am. To admit I'm a klutz on social media.
I'm also in Perth for the next 2 days as well. So if anybody wants to meet with me for a 30-minute strategy session to discuss the course at all, if there's anything they're not sure about, then come up and see me and I'll book you in. I'm just staying over at East Perth and I'll fit you in, do a 30-minute session with you. So
this man understands the importance of face-to-face communication and doesn't fly in today and fly out 9 o'clock tomorrow morning. So this is a true professional. So please indulge yourself and quiz him and take advantage of the man being here in Perth. We now have our break, and if you just make your way out to the breakout area, there is food and wine. So we shall reconvene at 8:15. Let's go.